MMA Joey is a massive hypocrite. And by massive, I'm not just talking about his weight. I just mean in general, he's a massive hypocrite. And also he's fat, but that's a separate point, alright? He is going after Tom Aspinall about his injuries. He's faking his injuries, guys. He's faking his injuries. He's such a crybaby. Such a crybaby. I'm going to expose the hypocrisy of this man. Blatant hypocrisy of this man today. And you all probably know that he is a hypocrite. He's a contrarian. But I wanted to really just put it into one video to really show. And I mentioned it briefly in my previous video about Tom Aspinall with MMA Joey being a hypocrite. But I really want to break it down even more. Okay. But before we jump into that, I put up a community post about this video. And someone recommended me to watch MMA Joey's video on Chris Weidman's double eye poke. Which, if you remember, he got a double eye poke TKO. And MMA Joey has some harsh words for Chris Weidman, the eye poker. It's quite hypocritical. It's quite ironic. Take it away, MMA Joey. What do you think about Chris Weidman eye poking Bruno Silva?
Load back on him, and so I'm like, kind of like my fingers are kind of like my way to judge distance, and
which, by the way, is illegal. You're not supposed to be reaching out with your fingers facing your opponent's eyes. There's a reason that it's made illegal because of consistent eye pokes, and it's a way to cheat.
I agree, Joey. I agree. How funny. How funny the switch up because it's Tom Aspinall, huh?
Especially, oh, how convenient. Bruno Silva's strategy is to rush forward with wild winging shots. Well,
like Tom Aspinall. Pressures forward with a 1-2 and your blitz is in. How convenient, right, Joey?
I guess he doesn't want to rush forward because now he's getting poked in the eye every single time.
I'm kind of like moving back as I'm ready to come back and forward, and unfortunately I caught him in the eye a couple times, and of course I'm sorry that happened.
He's sorry. He should just say, look, I'm sorry, this is unfortunate. I don't know. I can't go back and change the past. Leave it at that. But instead he goes on to blame Bruno Silva.
You mean like how you blame Tom Aspinall for not continuing? So this is what I mean. They can't win, so he's blaming Chris Weidman for eye poking Bruno Silva, which you know, finished the fight. He's criticising Chris Weidman, but then he's like blaming Tom Aspinall for getting eye poked. But he's not blaming Bruno Silva for getting eye poked. Well, no, sorry. He's blaming Tom Aspinall for quitting the fight because of an eye poke. And here he is criticising Chris Weidman for a double eye poke. You cannot make this up.
I cannot believe this. He blames him time and time again throughout this interview.
That being said, like, I am sorry that happened, and it sucks that it ended that way. But you could make a very strong argument that I got eye poked by far the most devastating eye poke of all the eye pokes.
Where's this delusion? Oh, it was the most devastating. You didn't even react. You didn't even.
It's just crazy. There's more to it. There is much more to this. I'll go and check it out. I will do a longer breakdown, but I need to go because we're going out. Okay. Well, it's just this criticism of Chris Weidman for poking the eyes of Bruno Silva. I can't believe Chris Weidman's blaming Bruno Silva for this eye poke, guy. I can't believe he's blaming him for it. Does he not know that having your hands like this is an illegal move? Because it causes multiple eye pokes? Yeah. Exactly, MMA Joey. Much like what Cyril Garn did every time Tom Aspinall was getting close. Had his fingers out like this. Double eye poke on Tom Aspinall. But because it's Tom Aspinall and not Bruno Silva, you blame Tom Aspinall for not wanting to continue. What, should he have just carried on like Bruno Silva? Huh? And lose the fight? Should he have just continued? Clown. Let's continue with the video. Anyway, enjoy. This guy on my left calls people soy boys, incels, virgins. Who's soy, Joey? You literally have tits. You literally have breasts, MMA Joey. There's nothing more soy than a man with tits. Alright, so relax, right, with the soy boy insults, and we're going to get into this man's hypocrisy. We have tweets about Tom Aspinall, tweets about Ankalaev, tweets about Alex Pereira, and we're going to just go down, we're going to break it down one by one. He's been going on absolute Twitter spree, because this guy might live on the internet more than MMA Guru does, which is kind of crazy, but this guy lives on Twitter, okay, as you can see, just tweeting all the time, 10 hours ago, 11 hours ago, just constantly. 3k views, 75 likes, 2k views, 59, the ratios aren't ratioing very well for him, which is fine. I don't really use Twitter for posting, so what do I know about ratios, okay? But we're going to go into this because he's going after Tom Aspinall for faking his injury and not crying about it, blah, blah, blah. And all this and that. So we got the Tom Aspinall Helwani interview was a PR disaster and a complete embarrassment. Nothing more than a charade at this point. A charade with doctor's notes. Okay, a charade with... And look, we all... Why are we all acting like we didn't see the eye poke? People are acting like we didn't see the eye poke happen in real time. He fucking dug his he gouged his eyes out. What is MMA Joey seeing that we're not, or what is MMA Joey not seeing that we all saw? I have no idea. Tom's career is over. Errol had to pry the symptoms he's having by asking him 12 times over. There's still no real diagnosis of actual damage or treatment plan. Well, there is a diagnosis. He posted the diagnosis on his Instagram. He literally posted the doctor's diagnosis. And he's talked about in his video the treatment that they're looking at doing surgery, but the only thing that he can really do right now is just hope that it gets better. Just kind of wait and see what happens. And if it doesn't, then they're going to talk about maybe doing surgery. That's what he said. So he's just ignoring points to make himself sound clever, pretty much. And then we scroll down, there's some more. Okay, we're going to watch the clip too, just for a bit more context. So this is from Ariel Helwani, yesterday, the interview. So we'll watch the clip and then we'll go over Joey's response about this clip.
What are they saying right now in terms of what the recovery time will be, what you're facing, when you could be back to 100%?
So obviously I want to get back as soon as possible. That's the plan. But I'm also aware that with eyes you got to be careful. So they don't really know when I'm going to be back at the moment. I'm still not even clear to train or do anything. They're talking about doing surgery on both eyes.
Remember, guys, no treatment though. No treatment.
About injection. I have to get an injection in the eyeball soon.
Jeez.
No treatment, guys. I have to get an injection in my eyeball. Remember, no real diagnosis of actual damage or treatment plan. I'm getting an injection in my eyeball, and they are talking about surgery. Remember, no treatment planned at all. He's just sitting around and doing nothing.
So I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, I don't really know at this point. I don't know.
Have you been able to do any type of physical activity at all?
I've just been doing bits of weights, just put bodybuilding weights, and just a little bit of cardio as well. But I'm still, because I got a double vision.
Yeah.
If I change direction too quick, I start getting really dizzy and stuff. So I've just been doing a little bit of cardio, a little bit of jogging.
And in an octagon with Cyril Gahn, when you're going to have to be, cutting angles, moving around, moving your head, that's going to fuck him up big time. Why would he go fight in that? And MMA Joey, the actual, the eye doctor of MMA Twitter, Tom Aspinall baiting double eye surgery to appease the people criticising him for quitting. Or maybe Ariel just asked him a question and he answered it. As far as treatment goes, what's going on? Oh, people are talking, they're talking about doing surgery. Look at him baiting double eye surgery. This is why he can't win, because if he said, we're not talking about any treatment, we're just waiting and seeing, he'd go, wow, there's nothing wrong, there's no treatment plan, and then he tells them what they're doing. As in, like, oh, they're talking about surgery and injections. Look at him baiting people in for talking about treatment plans. Look at him baiting people. No, he's answering a question, you fat fuck. Every doctor has essentially found zero damage. It's not true. The diagnosis is up online. And he said, let's just wait for your symptoms to resolve. And with eyes, there's not a lot you can do. Like surgery, injections. It's like anything. You know, you go have surgery, you wait for it to heal. You know, you break your arm, you wait for it to heal. You break your hand, you wait for it to heal. It's literally this. It's the same as any injury, that you get. You break your toe, you wait for it to heal. Your eyes are fucked, you wait for them to heal. Retard, bro. And then we've got, Ariel Helwani. Tom Aspinall and his daddy clearly coached this guy on what to say before they hit record. I'm not going to play because it's 2 minutes, but lots of pressure because you want to fight. You had the courage to make that decision in a stressful environment, which in my opinion is a great decision. Yeah. They're just coaching Helwani. All right. Here we go. Tom Aspinall keeps making himself look worse and worse, having Helwani drop a video of a consultant essentially defend his decision to quit at UFC 321. He also has this guy criticizing the in-cage doctor. Notice there's never any treatment options. Surgery on both eyes, injection in the eyeball. No treatment options, guys. No treatment options whatsoever. No treatment options, remember. They just say, oh, just sit down, mate. Just sit down, mate. Just rest up until you don't have double vision. What do you think? What does MMA Joey think you can do, right, with double vision? Do you think you can, like, I don't know, stitch the eyeball in place so that you can't get, no, like, if you're delirious and your vision's fucked, there's not much you can really do other than hope it gets better, or inject the eyeball, or surgery in the extreme case. But they don't want to go down the surgery route straight away if it gets better by itself. Like, that's the thing with doctors, right? You go for a problem, okay? More often than not, if it's something like this and it's a sensitive thing, they've got just keep an eye on it, monitor it. If it doesn't get better, come back, and we'll fucking sort something out. That's kind of how it works. They want to see if your body can fix it first before they actually go in and do something that's not natural. That's a fair thing to do. But remember, guys, never any treatment options apart from injection and surgery. But they're not actual treatments, okay, according to Joey. We'll listen to what this guy says too, though, okay? If you haven't seen it, and then we'll, but he's still going in on Tom Aspinall for an injury that he has medical proof from, and this consultant says that he made the right choice. And we'll go into what he thought about Ankalaev and his injury, because it's night and day what this guy's saying. Bearing in mind, Ank provided no evidence whatsoever, just Ali Abdelaziz releasing a video of him getting baby wiped on his ribs. We'll get to it, though. And there's MMA Joe. Oh, he's injured, guys. He's injured. You get injured from walking down the stairs. You get injured from walking, holding up your own weight. I'm surprised your ankles haven't broke. You know what I mean? And ad hominem attacks, they're all jokes. But, just relax, okay? We can have a bit of fun, all right? We can have a bit of fun and also criticize at the same time. Let's watch this. See what this doctor says. See if we disagree with anything that he says.
Previous injury or trauma to the eye, it's almost impossible to ascertain exactly what has happened. So it's a very crude way to very quickly assess for any major issue with the eye.
Yeah, but MMA Joey knows more than this guy, though, right? This guy's basically saying it's really hard to just look at an eye and tell what damage has been done because it's such a sensitive area. You can't just look at an eye and go, yeah, that looks good to me. Like the in-ring doctor did. Yeah, it looks good to me. He can open it. It's not bleeding. It's not really red. Looks good to me. He don't know how there's interior shit that could be damaged. Same with the doctors in Abu Dhabi or Saudi, wherever it was. They shine a torch in. It hurts him, obviously, and then they look through like a magnifying glass thing with some more light in his eye, and they go, externally it looks good. Ah, well, externally it looks good. That means the interior of the eye is also fine then. If I fucking, I don't know, get lung cancer, and also it's extreme, this comparison, but from the outside, I look fine. I look fine. Even if I have like cancer in my eyeball, I might look fine on the outside. On the inside, I've got a fucking tumour. Do you know what I mean? That means, like, you can look at my eye and go, yeah, that looks good to me. Doesn't mean it is, though. Doesn't mean it is.
But it does not replace a thorough eye examination, which I understand might not be possible always in the heat of the moment. But to say that the globe is fine and there is no eye problem, you should carry on, I think is a stretch.
Yeah, but MMA Joey says that it's not, though. MMA Joey knows more than you, legitimate doctor. By the way, the king of health himself knows, okay, what's healthy and what's not. And he knows that Tom Aspinall's eyeball looked perfectly healthy. The king of health. Alright? Maybe MMA Joey should go for an examination on his tits. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's carry on.
Certainly things that happened as a result of that injury that has meant that you would have seen double during that fight had you continued.
So how long till I can train properly, spar?
It's a long road ahead, but the prognosis is guarded at the moment. I would recommend that you wouldn't fight until your double vision's resolved for two reasons. One, it could potentially make things worse and set you back even further, or that you're training because you're still having double vision looking into the periphery, you wouldn't be at your peak.
How dare this doctor say, don't you be training with double vision, Tom. Just wait until it goes, Tom. How dare he say such a thing? Notice how the doctor just says, don't spar with double vision. Don't train. Don't fight when you can. Don't fight when you see double. Can you believe he's saying that? It's just a ridiculous suggestion, isn't it, guys? And here we go. And then he's like, goes on a big cope of how it's fake. Okay.
I guess.
And here we go. I called this over a month ago. Tom Aspinall will be cleared by multiple doctors, but after all the backlash, he would find somebody in the UK. Fabricate doctors. No, he hadn't been cleared by multiple. I don't know what. Why do people make this up? He's been cleared by multiple doctors. He hasn't been cleared by multiple What doctor has? Find me a report or a clip where a doctor has said to him, "You're cleared to fight, Tom. Go and fight." No doctor said this. The only thing that doctors have said when they look at him, when they look at his eye and don't do a proper examination, like an in-depth scan, like an MRI, like a CT scan or an MRI scan, all they say is, yeah, that looks okay from the outside. There's no exterior damage done. He hasn't been cleared by This is just a lie. He hasn't been cleared by multiple doctors. I don't know why people keep saying this, but he hasn't been cleared to compete by anyone. Find me a document, link me a document, and I will say, shit, you know what? I'm wrong. But there has been no doctor that has officially stated, Tom Aspinall, you are cleared to compete now. Go and fight Cyril Garn. That just hasn't happened at all. The same people that believe Tom Aspinall's 2-month-old medical records, the same people who believe Alex Pereira when he got hacked. Yeah, the same people that don't believe it believe that Ankalaev broke his ribs before the fight in the exact same spot Pereira was elbowing. What a coincidence, guys. What a coincidence. Pereira's just got spies in the camp of Ankalaev. You know, that really tight camp. They only train with, like, people that they know, that are close to the team and the family. Alright? Yeah, Alex Pereira just got a spy in there. Yeah. So Aspinall couldn't have handled this situation any worse. This would be the end of his career. Fake doctor's notes and crying about Dana White stating facts was trying to duck the Garn rematch. Hasn't ducked it. Didn't say he was going to duck it. This is interesting. Crying about it. Couldn't have handled this situation any worse. We'll get into how you handled the Alex Pereira situation when he knocked Ankalaev out in 1 minute 20 flat. You handled that terribly well. You handled that like a paraplegic handling a baseball. If you know what I'm saying, not well at all. I just made it up. Then that was good. That like a paraplegic handling a baseball. You know, and then we go. I asked ChatGPT. You know that reliable. I asked Grok the other day. Give me a list of all the current champions. It left out Khamzat Chimaev, and it left out who else did it leave out? I can't remember. It left out 2 people though. AI isn't 100% reliable. It makes you up. I was doing research for a video a long time ago that I didn't end up making, right? And I use AI because I thought, oh, you know, instead of me trailing through hundreds of fucking articles, it'll get me the article like there and then. So I asked it, I can't remember what it was. I think it was about like champions in the sport or whatever. And I was talking about you know, like current champions and current wins of this year. Yeah, and one of them said like Khamzat Chimaev defeated DDP via second round TKO, and I'm like, no, he didn't. So Joey's like, I asked ChatGPT and it told me that it's fake, therefore it's fake. Like, it doesn't prove anything. Tom Aspinall took Aspinall over a month after 17 clean bills of health. Didn't get a single clean bill of health, by the way. He finally found a doctor, his dad's friend, to diagnose him with persistent double vision. Does anyone believe this? What's hilarious is they use a bunch of big words to make it sound serious. No, MMA Joey, you just don't understand the fucking words. And you know what? I don't either. But I'm not going to sit and pretend like they just use the big words. They use the big words to make them sound clever. They use the big words. They use the big words to make themselves sound clever. They're not big words just because you don't understand them. They are just legitimate terms. And then, you know, biggest crybaby in the sport. He watched the fight, you know, biggest crybaby, blah, blah, blah. 17, IPOC quit, 17 bills of health, and then disappeared for months. He disappeared for a month whilst he was getting doctor's appointments. Like, he just disappeared for months. He was away for a month, like literally a month, whilst he was going through appointment after appointment after appointment, and then he comes back. He comes back, right, after disappearing for months, and you go, look at him, he's been a crybaby. He hasn't spoke about it for a month. What do you mean he's a crybaby? He's not shutting up about this, guys. He's been away for months, I thought. You know what I mean? And, you know, you're the one that's going on about Tom Aspinall, look at that. November 20th. 15th. The 9th. You know? And here we go. Remember those Middle Eastern doctors? Those Middle Eastern doctors didn't know what they were doing, according to Ariel Helwani. The doctors in the Middle East didn't do an in-depth eye examination. No scans, no nothing. They observed it from the exterior, Joey. How don't you know the difference? But anyway, that's basically, you know, he's basically like, Tom Aspinall releases medical records. They're all fake. I don't trust them. ChatGPT says that they're all false.
a rib.
But Daniel Cormier says that Ankalaev had a rib injury. That's all I need. We're going to watch this clip. Listen, guys. People are saying that Ankalaev was injured. I believe him. I believe him. Because he's getting his ribs rubbed down by some woman. Coincidentally, the same side that Alex Pereira was elbowing. Okay. Coincident. And let's just say that Ankalaev was injured going into the fight. Which I don't believe, by the way, because the Dagestani fighters never, ever enter a fight unless they're 100%. Never do it. They never go into a fight unless they are 100% healthy. And when they lose, that's when they're injured. You know, Umar did it. Oh, I have broken hand, brother. I have broken hand. Shavkat does it all the time. I mean, not when he loses. I know he's not Dagestani, but he's kind of, you know, that same region. When he has a lackluster performance, he always goes, "Oh, I was actually injured, guys." They never go into a fight unless they're 100% healthy. That's a fact. And Ankalaev's here getting his ribs rubbed. The exact same area and side Alex Pereira just happened to be elbowing. And let's just say that he did. Let's just say that he did. That he was injured before the fight. Fair enough. How is this enough proof for you, right? But Tom Aspinall releasing medical records, that's not good enough. And Tom Aspinall even just saying, I can't see, that's not good enough. But Daniel Cormier says it. You know, I saw a video. And then you see the video, and then they go, "Yeah." People confirm it. What if like loads of people came out and confirmed that Tom Aspinall has injured eyeballs? You'd still say no. They're just his friends. They're just his friends, guys. And you can say, Bromo, aren't you being a bit hypocritical, not believing the Ankalaev story, but believing the Tom Aspinall story? The reason why I don't really believe the Ankalaev story is because we only hear about these injuries after the fights, right? And it was Ali Abdelaziz that released it. By the way, the guy that was stopped at the airport on 9/11 because he had multiple passports. Oh, okay. Really trustworthy guy. And on top of that, this is the exact same side Alex Pereira was elbowing during the fight. The video came out after the fight. Like, it just makes sense, doesn't it? It just makes sense. But here's Joey. Carlos others come out and confirm Ankalaev was severely compromised going into the fight. People say Ank is coping. Pereira made vaguely excuses for 7 months and cried that he won. Anyway, see what I mean? Pereira says that he was injured. No. Ankalaev says he's injured. Yeah, okay, Ankalaev. The double standard is insane. You're right, Joey. It is. From you. As Pereira ducked for years and then demanded Abu Dhabi, then proceeded to duck fights at 317, 318 and 319 until he found out Ank was 15% with broken ribs and demanded the UFC 320 in Las Vegas. Just didn't happen though, did it? What a shame of champion we have at 205. Asterix next to every win on his resume. Remember, guys? Remember Tom Aspinall was crying about what Dana White said? Let's not forget about MMA Joey crying on Twitter about the result of Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev. Ankalaev was forced to fight or be stripped at 320, just making shit up. Alex Pereira had full knowledge of the injury going into the fight and targeted it. Didn't. Just didn't. UFC tried to tip the scale in favour of Pereira by making Ank fight during Ramadan and now while seriously injured. Oh. Ankalaev was in a lose-lose situation lead up to the 320. If he pulls out, he's crucified by the fan base. UFC strips him, lets Pereira fight Yuri for the third time on short notice for the belt. Pereira wins and dunks Ank for the rest of his career. Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, because the UFC just forced people. The UFC just forced people to fight injured, right? And let's just say that Ankalaev was injured. and UFC, you know, they strip him. That'd probably get people behind Ankalaev. I mean, we've seen it with Arman Sarukian, you know. Didn't really have a massive fan base. But the UFC have fucked him over. Now everyone's like behind Arman Sarukian saying he deserves a title shot. He deserves this, he deserves that. If Ankalaev said, look, I'm injured, just do an interim. And UFC went, no, we're stripping you. Alright. Boom. And then when you come back, they go, no, you're not getting a title shot. The fan base would rally behind Ankalaev, whether they like him. People were saying even before this fight, even before the first one, Ankalaev deserves a title shot. People that weren't fans of Ankalaev were saying, Ankalaev deserves a title shot. It'd be the same thing. They would root behind the guy. But, you know, Ank hasn't made any excuse, nor cried about it, nor cried about 7 months for it. He has made it. He literally makes an excuse by saying that he was injured going into the fight. That's an excuse. What are you talking? He makes no excuses. But my ribs were sore. Look at me getting rubbed down. It's hilarious how Alex cried about 7 months for not being himself in every interview, and that's acceptable. But media member gets leaked a serious injury for Ank and it's coping excuses. When you're Muslim, Dagestani, you're held to a different standard. You are, by you. Media member leaks a serious injury for Ank. Serious injury. Okay, let's just say, okay, yes, it is a serious injury. So's Aspinall. So's Aspinall's injury. Aspinall's injury is serious. He can't see properly. He can't see properly. His eyes are still fucked. But when this gets leaked or released, you go, nah. He's just getting people to fucking vouch for him. This isn't true. When a media member leaks this, oh yes, it's definitely true. Even though this has more question marks over it, in my opinion, than this does, because videos of him getting seen by doctors, you know, medical records being released, it's more reliable than a video of Ankalaev getting baby wipes on his ribs, in my opinion. But let's just say that both are true. Why is this more believable than this, in your opinion? Answer is, you hate Tom Aspinall and you love the Dagestanis. Just admit that you're biased towards the Dagestani fan base. You're a contrarian that likes everyone that no one likes, pretty much. You are the anti-MMA guru. You've said, who does Guru like? Who does Guru hate? I'm going to do the opposite of what he does. Because I want to get that other side of the fan base that he alienates. That's what I want to do. That is you, Joey. Ankalaev would easily win the trilogy, which is why Pereira would never take the fight. It's crazy how he landed one punch, didn't drop Ank, who came in with a broken ribs and people acting like he slept him out cold. No one's acting like that. No one said that, not one bit. No one said that he slept him out cold. They were nothing to do with the trilogy, and I don't blame them. It's almost like he didn't defend the belt at all. He won the belt and then instantly lost it. That never gets you a title shot. Never. Unless you're Sean Strickland. For some reason. But if you win the belt and in your very next fight you lose the belt, you don't deserve an instant rematch because you haven't defended the belt. It's that simple. It's that simple. You know what I mean? And there's a thing here too. I mean, I think it's on the Pereira section. Basically, he just copes, you know. It's now been reported a few weeks out Ank broke his ribs but still thought, what a savage, but doesn't get credit because he's Muslim. Yeah, it's also been reported that Tom Aspinall can't see properly, but that's not good enough for you, is it? Actual doctors are coming out and saying, you did the right thing, you have double vision, it's unsafe for you to fight right now, do not do it. But because a few people have reported that Ank broke his ribs, by the way, no x-rays, no doctor's notes, no nothing, no actual proof, just a video of him getting rubbed. No x-rays. Do you remember when Walter Walker broke his foot and he released an x-ray and was like, look at my foot, guys, it's fucked. Shit, that is all you need to do. They haven't done that. We have seen no X-ray from Ankalaev to actually say that his fucking ribs are injured. We've seen broken hands. You know, we've seen you know, broken legs. You know, X-rays of that. But with a broken hand, you can tell because it swells up like crazy. You can tell. And with a broken leg, I mean, you can tell that too. But we've seen these X-rays be released of other body parts that have been broken. Just release an X-ray. If he has broken ribs, he'd have got an X-ray. But you don't need to see proof from Ankalaev because he's your little boy. He's your little Dagestani boy. You don't need to see any proof apart from, well, people have said that he's injured. But when Tom Aspinall releases proof and doctors like saying, yes, you know, this is serious, you go, nah, they're just lying for him. And then we got about Pereira here. You know, he's just coping about Pereira. Remember when he said that it's embarrassing, Tom Aspinall crying? I want you to look at the dates on all of these. All of these. Let's start from the top. So, in fact, right, let's start from this. Right, okay, so we got October 16th, October 15th. These are all about Pereira. October 15th, October 15th, October 13th, October 13th, October 13th, October 11th, October 11th, October 11th, October 11th, October 10th, October 9th, October 9th, October 9th, October 9th, October 9th, October 9th, October 8th, October 8th, 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 7th, 7th, 6th, 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 5th, 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 5th. He's still going. 5th, 5th, 5th. He's still 5th, 5th, 5th. Still going. 5th, 5th. Still going. 5th. You see what I mean? I can't read all these because there's so many. I actually can't read. We will be here for like an hour. I did a stream reading all these tweets. It took me 45 minutes to get through all of these tweets about Alex Pereira. Crying about it? He knocked out your boy in 1 minute 20 and you haven't stopped crying about it yet. You know, fucking, let's... 5th, 5th, 5th. 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 Right, so we were here. Okay, we were here. So 5th, 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 5th. 4th, 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 4th. 4th. Okay, 4th. So from the 4th to like the 16th, every day he was crying about Pereira beating Ankalaev. And then I saw this video. Where is it? Where is it? Here. Yeah, here. Look at this shit, man. This is what I mean. This is why it's a bit weird, because he's elbowing the exact same side that he's getting rubbed on here. If you're Ankalaev, right, you would try and do everything that you can, and your ribs are seriously injured. You wouldn't be laying on. I know it's easier said than done, but you try and block this side, man. You try and roll out. You didn't even try and fucking do anything. He's got the fucking shrimp. I don't know what you'd really like. The fucking shrimp blocker there. He's got his leg down here. Sweep him. Why not try and sweep him? You know what I mean? Or something. If he's that injured, they could go for a takedown. You know what I mean? Someone leaked to Pereira's team the Ankalaev injury. Ankalaev is clearly the better fighter. On the floor getting pelted by elbows. The better fighter laying there in fetal position, Anthony Smith style. I'll take a 49-45 domination over one punch landing and not even dropping the guy. But he quits because he had broken ribs. Crying. So it's embarrassing when Tom Aspinall cries, but when you cry for literal weeks about Alex Pereira beating Ankalaev. That's okay. You're a blatant hypocrite. And on top of that, you've got tits. So let me know what you guys think about MMA Joey. Like and subscribe. A long one today. Hope you enjoyed. Links are down below. Become a member, join the Discord. Until next time, I'll see you in a bit.